Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Evan. I'm the owner of Bees Auto Detailing here in Woodland, California. Today I'm going to show you guys how I perform a waterless wash on this 1984 Cadillac DeVille.
Nice looking car, huh, Evan?
Yeah, this thing's pretty sweet. I mean, it's a nice cruiser. We detailed it. It got a third place trophy first show, so that sounds like a win to me.
Nice. Now, why are we doing a wireless? Why not like a foam wash?
So basically in general with these older cars, the more you go back in the timeline, their drainage systems weren't built the best. And since they are built of a lot of metal, water and metal just don't go good together. So with a foam cannon, usually what you do is you rinse, put some soap, let it sit a little while so that it makes your job a little easier. But with these cars, you don't want that. You don't want water to sit in areas. I mean, yes, you can go with an air blower and blow those sections out, but at the same time, you're putting the car in jeopardy of getting rust later down the road. And it also takes a lot longer trying to clean up after all that stuff. So my preferred way is a waterless setup. But I would like to know, how would you clean a car like this? Would you do the traditional garden hose, soap, foam cannon, or are you gonna go a waterless type system? Let me know in the comments below.
All right, Evan, what equipment are you gonna be using?
So actually today for our system, we're actually using a bougie setup, or something that costs a little bit more money than your typical route you would go. So this actually setup is called, it's a tent keg, detail keg. Basically, it's a keg pressurized with water and with your solution and air. So basically, you don't have to have anything plugged in. You don't need to have any compressors, generators, anything like that. I actually, to fill this up, I use my little Milwaukee battery operated compressor, and that's plenty to keep this working at all times.
Now, why are you going this route? Like, is it convenient? Is it cheaper? Is it more powerful?
Yeah, so let me actually demonstrate the traditional way that you can go, or an option that you can do, versus something that's a little bit more quicker. So here we're just grabbing some soapy water just for demonstration purposes. So the time it would take me, say for instance, we're gonna clean this door. We'll do half the door with the spray bottle and half the door with the keg. So we'll start. That wasn't real much time, but when you're doing a big car like this, you're gonna wanna go as quick as possible. So that's where this thing comes in handy. So I'm just gonna adjust the fan tip and done. So if I'm doing this car is a lot bigger than most SUVs that you see on the road. So when you look at actually how much area you're covering, it's a lot of area. So you're gonna wanna do something that's quick. And with this, actually the way it works is the pre-soak is what you want. So with the waterless, you're gonna wanna go for cars that got light dust, that sitting in the garage, and they have dust, and you want to take it out, you're going to go with this route.
So, quick question. I've never seen anybody use that before. Where did you learn about this method?
To be honest, this is actually a system when I was introduced. I've seen it online many times, but this one in particular, my buddy owns a tinting shop up in Humboldt. He actually gave it to me. He gifted it to me, and to start my tent business, so we actually added tint to our services. But one time I was in a pinch and I needed to do a rinseless, but I just said, all right, this time I'm gonna use this just to make things a little quicker. And from there, once I put my chemicals in it, I don't want to cross-contaminate. When you're doing tint detailing, you just don't want to cross the two. So I actually seen this online, and we used it, and I was hyped. Once I saw it, I didn't want to go back, and luckily he gifted it to me, and I've just used this ever since. And one other thing too with this type of system too is this actually top is a custom top, and it's like a fabric. I'm not sure exactly what type of fabric it is, but I know you don't want it to get wet, because once this does get wet, it does tend to show the water marks. So when you're doing something like this, if you were to foam cannon this, you either have to waste time and cover this or try to avoid it entirely, but then you're back to this is just spraying and wiping it down. You might as well just jump to this. So our first step would be to spray everything, and then we're gonna get a normal Costco towel, nothing crazy. Give it a quick spritz, and we'll do all sides. And so we did this area first. It's been sitting the most. It's gonna be easier to clean. So basically all you do is you're gonna wipe without putting any pressure. You're basically just dusting the car off. See, but as you're going, you're gonna start here, and as you come up, you rotate the towel up. That's my technique, so that I have more surface area instead of just covering a certain part of the towel. So basically there, I'm not gonna use that dirty side. Go down, and as I come up, as I'm finished, I come up, boom, that side's done. I have another little corner here. And that's the washing part. Then what I'll do is I'll come back with another towel. This is gonna be like my drying towel, so this is gonna be obviously a little bit more fluffier, just to not cause any small scratches. Give this a quick little spritz. And then there you are. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, we're not digging, we're not trying to get any of that gunk off. So this is perfect for this type of condition of vehicle. So what I'm actually using is Eco Shine. It's by Shine Supply. They're located down south here in California. And I really like this product because this is generally the company that I use for most of my details. So I just kind of like to keep everything relative. I like this one because this one doesn't come ready to use, it comes concentrated. So basically you can dilute it to your liking, so it works many different jobs instead of just one. So instead of having multiple gallons to do multiple jobs, I have 1 gallon that does multiple jobs. And that's one thing that I actually like, or now that I'm getting that I've gained experience over the years, is before I would try to collect everything like I was collecting Hot Wheels, what it seemed like, have every product possible just to say I had it. But now over the years, I try to have less products. So find one chemical that can do multiple jobs, and over time, you know, your vehicle, whether you're doing mobile or a shop, it's just not cluttered, and it just makes efficiency so much better. Look at all that dust that we're picking up. Not too shabby. So obviously, we're not gonna wanna use this dirty side again. So we're gonna use this side. So all I'll do is I'll hold that opposite, go this way. Like I was telling you guys earlier, as I'm dragging it, I'm rotating the towel up so that it's always getting a clean surface as I'm touching it. So I'll start flat, and then I'll start rolling up. So then you see, areas that rolled up, it went over. Instead of just staying one line, it spread out. And I come out with this towel, give it a quick buff off, and you're ready to go to the next spot.
Evan, so one thing I noticed is that you have this shop. What was your main motivation to get a detailing shop? Why not just stick to mobile?
So there's actually a couple reasons. The first reason was health reasons, number one. I mean, all my life I've been working in the sun, so it really never was a problem until last summer. I actually developed a skin allergy to or a sun allergy, which would cause my skin to like flare up to the point that I would be, let's say for instance, if I would force myself to be in the sun for so many hours, I wouldn't be able to work the next couple of days because my skin would be so messed up that I wouldn't even be able to put gloves on. So that was a big reason, a big push to get to the shop, so I can be indoors and not in direct sunlight. Another reason was that I wanted to, the vision I have for my business is I want to do it more like boutique style. I don't want to do quantity, I want to do quality. So say for instance, the car that I'm working on now, we did a full wet sanding, a full, you know, three-stage paint or two-stage correction, And I mean, it's been with us. The owner is, you know, will come by, check it out, see the progress, but he's not in a rush. So, you know, that's the kind of clients that we want. You know, the cars that they're cars that are driven every day, but you know, they want to jewel it, but they just, you know, you take care of it, and it's here. We'll treat it like it's ours. We'll do the full 9. So like I said, we want to focus more on, you know, one car at a time, making that car. So when we see it around town driving, we can easily be like, hey, I did that car, you know? So that's where we are with that.
So there's a lot of detailers out there that want to shop. In your opinion, does it bring in more business? Does it help the business grow? How do you feel about it?
So they're, honestly, with everything, it's your perspective that you got to look at it. The mobile area, the area we serviced before we got the shop is actually 30 minutes north of here. So technically we had to tap into a new market. So I'd say if you're looking into doing that, make sure your shop is going to be somewhere that you have clients, versus getting the shop and then you end up getting forced to try to find clients because you have to pay the rent. So that's maybe one thing I would say is make sure your chickens are in a row before you pull the trigger.
Because right now you kind of feel like you're starting over.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say, Reyes. So before, I could just, you know, text somebody and my previous clients and be like, hey, can I come service? You know, it's been a few months since you've got service. Oh yeah, sure, come out. I'm gonna be home this day. Come and service. You can do 3 of them if you want. Versus here, now those same clients, I have to ask them to drive 30 minutes here, have somebody follow them, take them back home, and then when the car's ready. So in a sense, I'm adding a 2-hour trip to the owner and whoever the ride is. So now that's where I'm at now, that I'm starting to realize that I need to start tapping into my local market and start marketing a little bit better.
All right, Evan, so what's the last step over here?
So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe down the paint. We already did the wash, and now with this, we're gonna make sure we remove any of the waxes or any of the polymers that are left over on the paint, just to help. So when we apply our protection, we wanna make sure the surface is as clean as, basically squeaky clean, as clean as possible, so the chemical actually bonds to the paint, versus say this is the paint and this is some leftover wax, and then you go to put some protection on it. Some of the protections, they don't work. You can't use some type of protections together. So in a sense, say for instance, this is a ceramic coating, you're thinking you want to ceramic coat your paint, but you're actually covering over the wax. And sometimes these type of cross-contaminations will mess up your installation process. So basically with this chemical, we're gonna spray it, make sure the surface is clean as possible, so then when we put our protection, it's actually gonna grab and sit on the paint.
And what are we using?
So this right now, so what we're using is Throwback. Like I said, Shine Supply is what we use. So we're gonna go ahead and spray the light mist of this on here, and we're gonna give it a quick wipe down. And I like to always put some on the towel, just because you don't ever wanna go and dry. So now we're ready to put whatever protection of choice you want. Waxes, sealants, coatings.
Now, real quickly, this waterless method, is it only good for old cars, or what type of cars would benefit from a waterless?
So basically waterless, you kind of got to go with your common sense a little bit. If the car obviously has lots of bugs, mud, like, you know, it looks like it needs a good rinse, it most likely needs a rinse. So in a sense, this would not be good for that fact that there's lots of dirt. You could also give it a quick rinse and then go to a rinseless setup. And say if you're at home, you want to use a garden hose, knock off all that top layer, and then you can go with this and use that. And that is the steps that we do here at our shop for a waterless wash process. So after watching us do this process, how do you feel about it? Let us know in the comments below if you think we're scratching the car, if this is perfect for this type of car. What's your process that you do at home? Let us know. If you're in the Woodland area or surrounding areas and you need a detail, Our information is located down below. Or if you have any questions in general, you can always reach out.